Om Sadashiva Samarambam Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Bande Guru Paramparam Ishvaro Guratmeti Multibeda Vibhagine Vyomabda Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha Sabhavedanta Sedanta Gocharam Tamagocharam Govindam Paramanandam Satiguru Pranatoshmaham Om Om Shanti 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 Om Namaste. We begin the chapter 7. Are we on the same page? Okay. It says Yana Vijnana Yoga, the yoga of knowledge and realization. Are we on the same page?
Yes.
Okay. So the Bhagavad Gita, as we know, contains 18 chapters and 3 sections of 6 chapters, as we know. And Swami, when he begins something like that, he often likes to present the structure of the text, you know. And here he's going to talk a little bit about that. So the first section, which is what we concluded, the 6th net that concludes the first section, it deals with the nature of Jiva, the nature of ignorance. It deals with Jnana Yoga as well, but all in reference to the Jiva who is suffering from samsara and so on. So what we want to look into here, which is a little bit more relevant, so when you study the subject matter of each one of the 6 of the 3 sections of the Gita, you can see certain important topics which are predominant in each one of these 6 sessions. So if you study the first one, you can find these 3 topics highlighted. So which are the 3 topics? Is the nature of Jiva, which is the nature of the individual, which is Saguna Atma, but fundamentally Nirguna Atma. So the nature of the Jiva under the spell of ignorance was discussed almost in every one of those chapters. And the second chapter and the third chapter, 4th and 5th, in all of them, the nature of the Jiva, the individual, was also discussed and point out that the individual is not the body. So Krishna tried to make a point to Arjuna in regards to that at the very beginning, telling Arjuna that he should not be concerned because nobody was going to die in that battle. So individual is said not to be even the mind or the sense organs. So individual in one's true nature is not the body-mind sense complex. The essential true nature of the individual is the Chaitanya, which is contained within the body-mind container. So again, this is a compromise due to certain difficulties we have to say the truth straightforward. We say that there is a consciousness contained within the body-mind. We know that is the other way around, right? Nobody has any doubt about that. Thus, the body and mind are presented as containers And the real individual, the nature of the individual is the conscious self, Satchitananda Atma, Chaitanya Atma. This Satchitananda Atma was brilliantly discussed in the second chapter of the Gita, from verse 12 to 25. In the third chapter, it was really the nectar of Jnana Yoga presented right at the beginning of the Gita, second chapter, of course, when the teachings begin. And of course, we know the story. Arjuna did not get it, therefore we had to get the entire teaching. And this is valid all over the planet here, you know. People hear that, oh, you are consciousness and you are free and everything is consciousness, and nobody gets it. And not getting it, so one should go to a teacher to get the complete teachings, you know, beginning from Karma Yoga. But nobody has time for that. So the second, third chapters, let me say, so everything was talked about, even the sense organs and so on. In the fourth chapter, the Chaitanya Atma was pointed at Akarta and the Bhokta. So he's highlighting the fact that in the fourth chapter, Krishna was really elaborating on the nature of the Jiva Atma, and the true nature as Chaitanya, consciousness, which is Akarta and Bhokta. So again, all of this was an analysis made, you know, in reference to the Jiva Atma, who is suffering from samsara, you know, going through certain crises again and again, due to the identification with what? With the karta and the bhokta. So the individual is identified as the doer of actions and the experiencer of its results. So as a doer, we have that aspect of our personality that was brilliantly presented in the fourth chapter as the karta aspect of our inferior nature. That sense of I do, I think, you know, I execute my thoughts and projects and ideas and all of that because I want to enjoy, as a bhakta, I want to enjoy the fruits of my actions. So in the fourth chapter, Krishna made it very clear that the true nature of the Atma, Jiva Atma, the Nirguna nature of the Jiva Atma, the Nirguna Atma, you know, the true nature of the Jiva Atma, is not a doer and it's not an experiencer, okay? And he, on the fifth chapter again, he reinforced the fact that we don't do anything as consciousness. We are the subject conscious witnessing, conscious witnessing principle, which just is just so aware of what's happening here. As a Jivatma, we are aware of what's going on here. As Brahman, we are not aware of anything. But Brahman is aware through the Jivatma. The Jivatma is aware of what's going on here. And if the Jivatma gets this knowledge, it detaches from the sense that, you know, that I change and I do things and I experience results and all of that. That belongs to the avidya, ignorance, superimposed on the Jiva Atma. So how to live a life with a sense that you do not do anything and you do not really experience anything? So how can we conceive that, you know, that picture? How can one live a life, you know, from the standpoint of this knowledge? And one goes about feeling like I don't do anything and I do not really experience anything. Any of you wish to elaborate?
It's only possible through identity with Atma. All the while we're identifying with the person, the body-mind complex we're always doing. So to change our identity to that Atma, which is a non-doer, non-enjoyer.
Yeah, we say like sometimes we say shifting, establishing our identity in Atma, which is our true identity, you know. So it's not even like change, because if it's change, it means that you literally and truly became the body mind, but you never become the body mind. Therefore, you just claim and own your true identity. So to the extent that we claim and own our true identity, yeah, and then there is this sense that things are happening and you are just witnessing everything. And some power makes you do things and some power makes you experience things, but you remain detached, non-attached to those phenomena as consciousness. It's a very, very cool kind of sensation, feeling, you know, and it comes out of knowledge, of course. But that's what allows us to have equanimity, vairagya, and strength to deal with more difficult circumstances and so on. Okay, this Satchitananda Atma, which is Jiva, which is the nature of Jiva. Satchitananda is the nature of Jiva, very clearly stated here. This was the one of the topics which was truly present within those 6 chapters. They will talk about the Jiva, inferior nature and true nature or superior nature. The second prominent topic we see in these first 6 chapters was the science of Karma Yoga and the sadhana. This is Karma Yoga, karma, living a life, engaged in society, converting my actions and attitudes into a sadhana. It's the most important spiritual sadhana for anyone beginning on the path of self-investigation, self-knowledge. Is the first stage, in fact, is the first stage of spiritual sadhana is and must be Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga was talked about in the second, and then he mentioned a well-known quote, Sloka, second chapter. The entire third chapter was dedicated to the discussion of Karma Yoga. Similarly, in the 4th and 5th. So he says that they are very beautiful Karma Yoga verse there. We also had then in the 5th chapters, 6th chapter as well. So as I said, Swamiji likes to not only teach, but he likes to try to help us to get a structure, to have the structure of the teaching structure, methodology, you know, on what we have been going and where we are going with it. He says, I'm just giving you a hint of what we have covered so far. If you don't remember, so go there and do some homework, he says. In the 6th chapter also, the very beginning was Karma Yoga. What is the definition of Karma Yoga? Proper action with proper attitude. Very simple, huh? Proper action. What is a proper action? Mark, what is a proper action?
A dharmic action, an action which is going to benefit your local environment, global environment, that does no harm to anybody.
Definitely. So this is a proper action, and a proper attitude
a proper attitude is knowing that the results come from Ishvara, and we are never in control of the results. So whatever results come, we look at with gratitude. And if it's not the result we want to, we can learn from that. And if it is the result we want, even better, and we can still learn from it.
Wonderful. Well said. And there are two aspects to the attitude of the jiva as a karma yogi. Two aspects. When we put our action into the field, there are an attitude of the dedication that we are giving it as a retribution to the Lord. We see the Lord as the field of the Dharma field, and we are doing that with a spirit of giving up something, giving out something. Therefore, there is a sense of sacrificing my egoic desires to the good of the the collective, now of the field. So you are serving, an attitude of serving, not an attitude to oh, I have to do this. No, I always like, oh, thanks God, thanks God. Here goes my contribution. So and I dedicate this to you as the Dharma field. And then this is the attitude coming from the karta. And the attitude come from the bhakta is just like taking anything as prasada, as you said. Therefore, proper action plus proper attitude is karma yoga. Okay. The third topic that we found in these first 6 chapters was, it is very nice one. I don't know if we covered in the 6th chapter. It was the importance of the individual effort. It's just the exercise of our willpower, tapping into the free will and take responsibility and never neglecting that my effort, my actions count, my effort counts, they are fundamental. So we should never get the fatalistic kind of attitude, saying like, oh no, when time comes, and then my actions are going to be better, and then I will grow, purify, and so on. No, it's vigilance and applying the teachings of Karma Yoga, trying to live, make a huge effort to conform to the laws and principles of the Dharma field, knowing that the Dharma field is Ishvara. The effort, it requires effort. Spiritual growth requires effort. So tapping the free will, with, intelligently taking responsibility and making our choice, knowing that our actions produce results, and as a Karma Yogi, the result we want is spiritual growth, mental purification, refinement, and so on. Don't ever believe a misconception that in Hinduism is fatalism. Many people have misunderstood the law of karma, and they believe that, oh, if it's all karma, so who cares, So if my karma brings about my enlightenment, so be it. If my karma is not going to bring about my enlightenment, so there is nothing I can do about that. So no, it's not like that, because karma is something very, very alive, playing out at every moment. In every moment, we have an opportunity to present our thoughts, attitudes, and actions in a way that are going to to help me to move towards my spiritual goal. So we can never miss an opportunity believing that, oh no, que será, será. Okay, this is an unfortunate misunderstanding. They think that it's a misfortune, unfortunate accusation, he says. Misinterpretation. Very careful. Hinduism and law of karma does not mean fatalism. The law of karma says that the present is the result of the past. It is nice. The present, my prarabdha, is just the fructification of my past actions, and my present actions is the cause of my future prarabdhas. That should be enough for us to be very careful with our present attitudes, words, and deeds. But prarabdha is going to come from this present moment. Therefore, you have to take charge, take responsibility for your actions and your attitude, because they are responsible for your future prarabdha. All of the 4 destinations of life, dharma, artha, kama, moksha, all of the 4 goals of life, 4 pursuits of life, pursue dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. These are called purushartha, which means goals, human goals. Not goals determined by some despotic God sitting above the clouds. No, every human being works, lives for those goals. It's built into the human mind. Everybody wants to have security, and then everyone wants to have enjoyments of life. And everyone, once we become more mature, we want to have moksha above artha and kama. And very rare individuals just work for moksha. So keep in mind that God does not decide anything for you. You need to grow, mature, so that your goals become higher and higher, and your effort to accomplish them are going to become less and less a burden, but more and more a pleasure as one grows, purifies, and so on. Krishna emphasized that by saying, it's all in Sanskrit here, you have to lift yourselves, and God does not say, I'm going to be an irresponsible spectator. What he says is the Lord is better defined as the law of karma. Okay, and here is an example. You have to put up an effort, and then the Lord is not going to be watching it and without presenting a response. Okay, not that the Lord is like, oh, I only like people who put up an effort to grow spiritually. No, it's just a impersonal system, self-conscious, designed by pure intelligence, that anybody who's putting up an effort towards self-knowledge, spiritual elevation, let's say, is going to grow and enjoy the fruits. Yeah. Sooner or later. Why? Because that's how it works. Okay, if you put up an effort, that is impact your future prarabdha. Okay, so God says that I'm there and I'm only assisting you because I am this impersonal system, but you have to take the initiative. The role of free will, the role of the individual choice and effort has been highlighted throughout the Pramata, throughout the Pratama Satkam, these first 6 chapters. Even the well-known karma, something indicates the free will only. Adhikara means what? Human rights. You have the right to choose the course of action, and you have the right to choose the action. Certainly, you are contributing to your very results as well by choosing good actions. You may not totally control the results, but you are heavily influencing or contributing to the result. When it's going to fructify, you leave it to the Ishvara system. And that is why we have the well-known sayings like, watch your thoughts, it will become your words and actions. Watch your words and actions, they become your habits. Watch your habits, they become your character. Watch your character, it becomes your Parabada. Therefore, Parabada is decided by what you have become, which depends on the vasanas, the habits, which is based on the words and deeds, which came from your thoughts, okay, from your vasanas. So everything begins with vasanas, producing thoughts that are going to produce words and deeds. And then that is going to crystallize certain habits. These habits are going to build one's personality or character. And the character is going to further feed your vasana load, okay? Which is going to present your thoughts, again and again. It's a system. It's a system that involves jiva, your one's very actions, and then the thoughts, the vasanas, the thoughts, the tendencies, the feelings, everything, the jiva. And the jiva is not alone doing that, because the jiva does not have the intelligence to keep that karmic equation in place. The supreme intelligence of the Lord is what keeps that, structured in a way that we can live our lives, and in the process we can cultivate and produce good vasanas that are going to free us from hardwired habits, which became addictions, which became, very binding and creating a personality that is vicious and so on, which is going to bring about a difficult parabada in the nearby future. So this intelligence system is Ishvara, and Jiva, getting in contact with these teachings, understanding this Ishvara system, has the free will at one's disposal to conform one's tendencies or habits or attitudes and into good attitudes, good actions, and so on. So to develop better vasanas that are going to build into a better personality, better character, because all of that is going to bring a better parabada. So why the emphasis here is on parabada, the destiny? Because we need to take in consideration as the Jiva Atma, the body-mind-sense complex, we need to take in consideration that as a karma yogi, we want to bring about punya or good parabada. Why? Because punya or good parabada, spiritual parabada, nice environment, with scriptures, with certain time, with favorable karma, and so on. So that is going to facilitate my spiritual elevation. So destiny or parabada is an intermediary goal of every seeker of self-knowledge and moksha. This destiny or parabada is decided by what? My character, which is decided by habits, my vasanas, which is decided by the way I engage in life with my words and deeds, and thoughts as well, and actions, and which are decided by thoughts. Thoughts come first. Therefore, watch your thoughts, be vigilant. The thoughts are going to bring your mental, emotional, psychological patterns. watch your thoughts before they consolidate or they crystallize certain attitudes. Direct your thoughts. Take the thoughts as presented by the scriptures of the Gita. Cultivate those ones. They are going to provide you with a much better destiny of Paravada. Therefore, the third topic highlighted is the role of the individual effort. Do we have any doubt in respect to that? Any comments about the role and the absolute necessity of one's personal effort, individual effort in this process of spiritual elevation? Without our effort, nothing is possible. But I know one guy there, the guy of the now, the power of now, blah, blah, blah. He did not do anything, and then boom, he was suffering miserably of depression, and then he became enlightened. Have you heard about that? So if something like that happened, the first thing we have to understand is the person really self-recognized and free from samsara? And the second thing is like, if that is the case, the person has put up a lot of effort in previous births and then came to this life with a lot of difficult vasanas that caused a very bad parabada, because the person here was suffering of deep depression, considering even suicide, committing suicide and so on. So that's what it is, okay? Effort is absolutely indispensable. We cannot believe that, you remember those notions that were present 10 years ago, 20, 30 years. Just life, the secret of life and getting light is to flow with life, There is something to that. To flow with life means to say not to fight what it is. Not to fight what it is, accept your parava. But does not mean accept anything and do nothing to change your circumstance. No, So it's okay to say flow with life like a river, just go around and so on and go. But be careful with those notions, because that does not does not spare you from the responsibility of only having given a free will. Free will comes with a huge price tag, responsibility. Now I need to really be responsible. So if you study this central part of the Gita, from the 7th to the 12th chapter, there are also 3 topics highlighted. It's like 3-stringed strand or 3-stranded string you can find inherent in this central part of the Gita. So let's see what it is, these 3 topics. Just as Jiva nature was highlighted in the Pratama, in the first part, in the middle part, Ishvara nature will be highlighted. Now we have 2 topics. The first was most about Jiva. Now we have Ishvara, the nature of God. Jiva Svarupan is nothing but the microcosm. Ishvara Svarupan represents the macrocosm. Okay, so the nature of Ishvara on the macrocosm is, I don't know if he's referring to the Saguna or Nirguna. Let's see here. If Jiva Svarupa is Yasti, the Ishvara Svarupa is Samasti. Do you remember those 2 Sanskrit words, Lynn? By any chance?
I think they just refer to the micro and macrocosms.
Okay. Yeah. Usually Swami does not leave and lose I would say, loose ends. So while Jiva, the nature of Jiva is nothing but the micro, Ishvara is the macro. The Jiva Svarupa, okay. Therefore, throughout the 6th chapter, Krishna talks about the definition of God, the nature of God, the function of God, the glory of God. So these 6 chapters of the second section of the Gita, it talks a lot about that, the nature of God, the function of God, the glory of God. While in the first 6 chapters, the first section, you do not find much of Ishvara at all. It's not totally absent. You can find here and there, but it's not predominantly discussed. With this awareness, with this vision picture, you go back and read the first 6 chapters again. So he's just, I mean, he's a terrible teacher. He gives so much homework. Now he say, now I give you this picture, but you need to know by directly knowledge, go there, revise the first 6 chapters and you will see. The 7th chapter is different. Right from the first verse, the nature of God dominates the teachings. Therefore, the topic here is Varupa, Ishvara Svarupam. And while discussing Jiva Svarupam, we saw the container and contained aspect. The body-mind complex is the container. And but the essential Jiva is Sachitanana Atma. We have seen similarly for Ishvara also, we have the same 2 principles. The container, superficial aspect of God, which is the body of pure intelligence, Sattva Guna, and then the essential nature of this entity made up of Sattva Guna to such an extreme proportion, which is Devi, Deha or Dehi. Anatman, let me read in his words. Similarly, for Ishvara also, we have got 2 aspects, the container, superficial aspect of God, and then the essential inner nature of God, which is Nirguna, Shahira and Shariri, Anatma and Atma. Okay, so also God has 2 natures. So he's presenting here God in its Saguna nature and Nirguna nature. You can never have them apart. And in most of the texts, even when we talk about the Saguna, except in the initial teachings, which are more like Vedic teachings involving a lot of rituals and ceremonies and something, there is the Saguna nature of the Lord is presented and never as an appearance superimposed upon its true nature as Nirguna God, But here it's already saying the Jiva has 2 natures, the body-mind-sense complex that is present as a container, quote unquote, and then the consciousness which, quote unquote, enlivens this body-mind-sense complex. And the same thing with Ishvara. Ishvara is also a mixture of both. Saguna, Nirguna is Varupam. Saguna, Nirguna is Varupam. Yeah? So what is God? God has 2 natures, Saguna and Nirguna. Saguna and Nirguna. Jiva, Saguna, Atma, Nirguna, Atma. Ishvara, Saguna, Atma, and Nirguna, Atma. How we can equate Jiva and Ishvara? Saguna, Ishvara and Saguna, Jiva. No, never, can never be equated because the Saguna nature of Ishvara is incredible knowledge, and the Saguna nature of the Jiva is a lot of ignorance with a little bit of knowledge. But the Nirguna nature of the Jiva can be equated to the Nirguna nature of Brahman, Ishvara. Okay? Both are Nirguna Atma. So we're going to see all of this. I will not see everything. There will not be anything left out. I will not say anything, I think. I will not say everything. Then there will not be anything. Is a mistake in the not translation, transcript here. I will not say everything. Shwara Svarupam is the topic number 1 of this second chapter section. Then the second topic in this second chapter 7 to the chapter 12 is what? Again, we're going to address sadhana of upasana. Okay. So now he's going to go more deeply into the object of sadhana, because we understand the nature of God, and now we're going to go back to address the sadhana, which is upasana, and we're going to understand the nuance and the relevance and the importance of this upasana using an aspect of saguna / nirguna ishvara. In the Pratama Satkana, Karma Yoga sadhana is highlighted, whereas in this second session, Upasana sadhana is highlighted. Upasana means meditation, meditation on a certain object of meditation, and as we know, it must be meditation on Ishvara Dhyanan. But as we know, most people meditate upon something that they would like to have. They feel they don't, and they would like to have, and then they meditate upon that. You know, I want what I want. If it's in the subtle realms of interdimension, that's what I want. I meditate on those things. Karma Yoga is a physical body oriented sadhana. It's active. The physical body is active because Karma Yoga is a yoga designed for people who need to act in the world, interact. It has family, has business, has many reasons to be there fulfilling those roles in society. So Karma Yoga is active physical body involvement, whereas Upasana is just not involving physicalities. You are just in the silence of your Upasana room. You are just going to contemplate on God, no longer doing your actions and in a background, in the environment in which you train yourself to see God as the intelligence behind everything. But now you sit in your room, there is no interaction, there are no other namarupas except the ones on your mind, but you want to clear that because you want to hold to one single thought, which is the appreciation of the nature of Saguna, Nirguna, Brahman. My mind wants to go there until I really understand the nature of God. And this object of Upasana will purify and prepare the mind to Jnana Yoga later on. So you're going to need a subtle instrument and grosser instrument. As a Karma Yoga, you are using a lot of your grosser instrument, the body, but the mind has to be there as well. Otherwise, the attitude is not coming. If you do good actions with a bad attitude, it's not going to produce spiritual growth. So the mind must be there. The mind must be purified. Karma Yoga is predominantly done with the physical and subtle body together. So the other one, the physical body, you leave out and you just work on the mental level. Okay, that's what he's trying to highlight here. Karma Yoga, you stay heavily active, serving society, contributing, adding value, giving something back. I mean, it almost feels like a utopia. Nowadays to find someone who is really active with a sense of serving society because I want to give something back to God. Maybe you will still find it in certain societies, such as some areas of India. But most people do not have that anymore at this time of Kali Yuga. Okay. In Upasana, on the other hand, you learn to withdraw from the physical body, yeah? And your meditation is mental, and it's on the nature of Brahman or Ishvara, which is the second topic here. Yeah? And what is the third topic highlighted in this section that we are just about beginning? That topic is the grace of God. And grace of God is a very important factor in our spiritual development. So Ishvara Anugraha, Ishvara Kripaha, the blessing of Ishvara, blessing of Ishvara. While the Pratama, the highlight was individual effort, now Krishna gives a warning. You can put up so much effort, but it's still, you're going to need to have the grace of the Lord. Never develop a sense that you don't. I mean, the people who want to grow spiritually, not bringing God into their lives, not develop an attitude towards God, those are the go-getters. They believe, no, I'm going to get enlightened by my own effort. This is arrogance. Even if you get a glimpse of what you are, that is going to be poisoned by pride and arrogance, and vanity. We see a lot of people with this problem. People who somehow got a glimpse of one's true nature, but never really understood the nature of God as the giver of moksha, after all. Do not become arrogant. Be confident, but never overconfident. So when we highlight this aspect, we say that difference is not correct. Diffidence is not correct. But at the same time, overconfidence is also not correct. Neither underconfidence nor overconfidence. So, but confidence in his simplicity. Anything from you, Lynn?
So it's an effort without pride for the outcome. And I remember hearing Swami P say that the grace of God is given in the Kriya Shakti, the Icha Shakti, and the Jnana Shakti already. So just employing them humbly, I suppose.
Yeah. It's a good way to see it as well. So it's basically saying that it's already there. Everybody has the blessing of God. We just need to tap into it, And for that, we have to have this Kami Yoga spirit, this attitude and this reverence, this love. Yeah. So what is this confidence which is not under, not over? It's just like I'm confident that I'm doing my best. I'm confident that whatsoever the result will be, it's in perfect order with the intelligence, the supreme intelligence. I'm confident of everything. I don't build any expectations because it would be futile. So I'm confident that I'm doing my best, And I'm confident that I take the results because I understood God in this relationship. Overconfidence is like, I don't need a God. Most probably people, more often than not, people overconfident, they don't even conceive the notion of God. They just say, okay, I can do anything. Don't bring God into the equation. Is it enlightenment? Okay, that's my goal now. I'm gonna become the greatest enlightened person. So when a person has this attitude, Bhagwan at the appropriate time will give them a big knock. Yeah. Sooner or later. Person, if he does not learn it the easy way, he's gonna learn the painful way. when failures come one after the other, this person will go from one extreme to the other. And then that's the risk. The risk is because he was on extreme and he say, no, I did everything. It means to say everything is predestined. I did everything, and I did not get my enlightenment, and then everything is predestined. So this is from one extreme to another. Overconfidence, and then I'm going over the defeated, So why do you go from overconfidence to fatalism? Overconfidence is no good. Fatalism is not good, not required. You need to have a mind that is confident in the supreme intelligence, trusting, and confident that I'm doing my best. I accomplish things with my efforts backed up by the grace of Lord. So what is the grace of Lord? It's the system, the intelligently designed system. Laws and principles, among many physical, chemical, chemistry, and all laws, scientific laws or cosmic laws. There is the karmic, ethic, psychological laws, and they are designed with precision. These laws are going to see my effort somehow without seeing. And in due time, once I have exhausted certain papa, and then when we least expect, we rapidly grow into the path of self-recognition and moksha. So my effort is there, but in the end, the grace of the Lord is going to decide it. Every time I go through these things, I remember my moments, my stage just during this period of time that I did not know anything about this, but I was only pray to God. I stopped meditating and everything. Okay, so let me realize you as no different from myself. And then God sometime, as Papaji used to say, you have to become so humble, so beautiful, that the Lord takes pity on you and saves you. He used to construct it that way, This is the balanced attitude. I accomplish things through my effort, plus hosted by the grace of the Lord. Very beautiful. That's why before every class we start with Dhyana Sloka. What is the purpose of this Dhyana Sloka? Even though I have put forced my effort and I have successfully come to the class, if my study should continue unobstructed, I require the grace of the Lord also. Therefore, Krishna emphasizes Ishwara Anugraha. In fact, right from the first verse of the 7th chapter, we will see this, Ishwara's grace as the third topic in this section. Okay, just recapping, what are the three topics? Ishwara nature, Upasana on Ishwara, and the grace of Ishwara. These are the three topics mostly dominating this section. We are entering now the 7th chapter is the beginning. It's a beautiful and comprehensive chapter which gives the entire teaching in a beautiful way. Even though it's a small chapter, it is a very comprehensive, powerful chapter. With this background, we will enter the 7th chapter. Thank you, Swamiji. Thanks God that it was short, his background today. So the first verse says, the Lord said, taking refuge in me and practicing yoga with a mind which is totally absorbed in me. It is how you will come to know me completely. There is a missing letter here. The Lord said, taking refuge in me and practicing yoga with a mind which is totally absorbed in me is how you will come to know me completely and doubtlessly. May you listen to these teachings, O Arjuna. How? Taking refuge in me. What it means, taking refuge in the Lord. What is that? What is this deal, Lena, taking refuge in the Lord?
Well, I remember that beautiful verse of just keep your mind on me and I will handle all your getting and your keeping. Just keep your mind with me.
Yeah, this is about Karma Yoga, no? Taking refuge in the Lord. It's an intermediary stage in our sadhana, in the sense that we know that in this meteor world of duality, we'll never find security and peace in the world. So I'm gonna transfer my desire for things of this world, to a desire to know God. And then why? Because only by knowing God, even as a saguna nature of God, the intelligence that holds it all in place, this apparent order. So if I understand the laws and principles, and then I'm going to understand the way I should relate to this principle, this intelligence principle. And this is taking refuge, because I was trying to find security in the world of seeing people, things, and events and circumstances, and I never really find security. I never found any refuge. So now I know that that can be accomplished again if you just lean upon God. Stop leaning upon things of this world and take how you say, lean upon God, lean upon God. So it's from words and things and people and circumstance and events. You are leaning on those things, dependence on those things. Now you become dependent on God. It's the first stage. It is very, very important. And why we're going to feel pacified when we just lean on God, okay, Saguna God, because we just understood the game, we understood the play here in this meteor order. We know that we will never find happiness trying to run to get things, and so I'm just falling deeper into the problematic of samsara, So now I transfer my search for happiness from the world to God. So, and there I find refuge. Why? Because I understood, and not only I will enjoy much better paravada, much more punya, because I'm conforming my actions and thoughts with the teachings on karma dharma, but I'm find refuge in the sense that this relationship from this proper perspective, which develops a proper attitude, is going to produce a strong confidence and the strength that allows the jiva to deal with very, very difficult circumstances in life, because now I am leaning on the Lord, okay? So this supreme intelligence is the creator, and it appears as the creation. I am integral part of this creation, and there is nothing to be concerned. Everything is happening according to its laws and principles. And if I leave my physical body, so everything that's born is going to die. But I understood the Lord. I am a good Kami Yogi, and I'm seeing God in everything. Therefore, I have my mind absorbed in God. That's how I will come to know God. That's how I will come to know God. So in the beginning, you know God as something other than yourself, because it is this incredible being made out of pure knowledge, intelligence, pure sattva guna. So you see, I mean, it's just behind everything we witness. There is an intelligence behind everything, and it's so incredible. It's so amazing. It's such a wonder to see God manifest as the universe. So I will come to know God as pure intelligence, and then I will get to know God as my very self, my very Atma, my very Nirguna Atma in due time. That's when you say, you will know me completely, all through. You're going to see through the Saguna Atma of Ishwara, and you're going to know me completely and doubtlessly as your very true nature as well. Therefore, stay with these teachings, O Arjuna. Don't get confused with many other topics. Don't try to save your body-mind. Try to save your soul, and only associating with God that's possible. Okay, so we stop here. Next week we begin here with the commentaries of Swami. Anything else?
This is the religious attitude you will so often speak of. So necessary.
Definitely, yeah. Definitely. And it's so rare to find people who truly, integrate God in one's life. You understand? Yeah, spiritual people, I mean to say, spiritual people, many of these people, they reject the concept of God, as the miracle of life, so to speak. How can someone reject God, when it's so clearly apparent in everything around us, But anyhow, okay, we meet Monday, Tuesday again on Kino Upanishad. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishate. Om Shanti 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 Om. Okay. Namaste.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Arjuna.
Thank you.
Another
Mark.
wonderful.
Thank you, Mark.
Okay.
Bye-bye.